It being 5:30 on October 1st,
Seven.
2025, I'd like to call to order the Master Plan Steering Committee. And I didn't get an agenda, or I didn't see the agenda? Is there an,
I sent the agenda.
or maybe it got printed? Oh, maybe it's
Okay.
this thing here.
No,
No?
I printed it.
Okay.
So we have two meeting minutes
Okay.
to approve.
Just one for approval.
I got one of them. So,
So the first one would be the September 22nd meeting, which was just a normal meeting, and then the second would be the,
September 2nd.
oh, sorry, the September 3rd is
Third.
the regular meeting, and the September 22nd meeting was a workshop to continue our work on asking NCC for a secondary proposal.
Okay, I guess I would entertain a motion to approve the September 3rd meeting minutes.
Second, I'll make a motion on it.
Okay,
I'll second it.
a motion made and seconded to approve the September 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And then for the September 22nd meeting. Oh, no, Ellen.
I didn't know about that one.
And I was not here. But I would entertain, again, a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve the September 22nd meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. And then for tonight, we have the vision. Maybe I'll just turn it over to you and let you run with it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so based on our last workshop, well, our last two meetings, we've been working on getting a second revision of the NCC proposal. And then I also would like to check in with everybody who's here on the delivery and completion of the vision prompts. So maybe we should just quickly go through that, and then we can get into the NCC proposal. And I did have, this was before I got the second version back, so I thought we could work on the maps. But I don't wanna rush us on the NCC proposal, so if we don't have time for maps, is everyone okay with just focusing on the proposal? I feel like that's a little more important than, hi Heather, it's okay, come on in. A little more important right now to get that done and see if we wanna carry it forward to the planning board, and also see if the planning board would like to join NCC for the town. So that would be another thing that's kind of more pressing than maps right this second.
Yeah. I do, that would be more money than we have in our budget.
Require a vote at town meeting too.
Yeah.
Possibly, unless the select board was okay with putting that money toward next year's membership. So Michelle, when I spoke with her about the proposal, she said that we could, she would honor membership pricing for us, even if we are not members this year. So if we sign into contract with them, no membership fee this year, which I thought was nice. It's $4,242 annually, so that would be next year. And then we could ask if it needs to go to town meeting, we could ask to pay that in March if we are allotted that.
For 2026.
Yeah. Which we're kind of looking at this not really starting until next year anyway.
Yeah, pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, to get it going within a month, with one meeting a month, I don't think we'll be doing much till
Okay.
then.
And so are we going to review?
Yes, we'll review everything in the secondary proposal. Should we go through the vision?
Okay,
Just to get that checked off, it's kind of our running list here. And good job, everyone. Pretty much everybody has, sent it out at least, so that's good. I wanted to check in with town admin, so Michael, have you had the chance to deliver to the town admin office and the fire department?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, delivered.
I have the fire department done. I just need to tabulate it.
Okay, so that's complete, awesome. Thank you. And then Heather, you did the school board and the PTO, you sent that out.
So we have PTO meeting third Wednesday in October to
Okay,
go over that.
and thank you for sending out the notice in the school newsletter. Thank you. And then, we need to check in with Chief Hayford, so I think I'll just email him on that. And then conservation to outside groups, we'll check in with Asia and Isaac at the next meeting. And then Evelyn and Paul working on the economic section. In total, there's nobody to really ask about those things, so unless you guys feel like you want to get together and fill it out from those perspectives.
Probably what will happen.
Okay, all right. All right, that's good. Okay, so the last two meetings, we have been working on the first proposal and then kind of whittling that down to take more on ourselves to cut the cost. And what we came up with in the last meeting, Evelyn was nice enough to put it into a nice organized spreadsheet for us. We were all able to check off what we felt was most important and what we felt like NCC could really help the town with. So based off of that, Michelle was able to provide us with a secondary quote, and I do realize that if I sent it out to you guys today, so I don't expect you to have reviewed it. We can go over it now as a team, or I can give you time to look over each item, and then we can get back to it at the next meeting, whatever you're more comfortable with. I did have time to review it, and also I spoke with her. So it lined up with what the group wanted, except for the project kickoff meeting. That was something that we as a group thought that we could do ourselves, and we kind of have been at this for a while, but that was kind of a non-negotiable. And I understand why. Michelle explained it very well. Basically, it's so that we're all on the same page with NCC, and they can do it virtually, so that cut the cost. But really, what we'd want to do there is invite the planning board, possibly the select board, and then we would be there as well. And maybe the CIP and budget committee, just to see, just so that they understand the scale of the project. And that we all have like equal buy-in as to what this really entails for the town. And I felt like that was fine. It was $2,427. But, hi Evelyn. Let me get to the back page here. But they were able to cut it down to $650, assuming that we have Zoom. And then I called in and we do have Zoom available for something like this. So they would host the meeting and it would just allow them to call in. It wouldn't be like a public meeting in the sense that it's virtual, but anybody from the town could obviously come to that meeting. So that greatly cut that cost down. And then she kind of she pressed it all into one big project. Before it was in two definitive phases. They will work with us on budgeting though. So although we couldn't get it down to the 25,000, if we break it up into 2 years, contingent on getting that secondary phasing approved at the town meeting, then it would be $23,050 for the first year, or the first phase, and then $19,800 for the second phase. And so we would be saving $12,743.70. And that would also mean that we're taking on more of the legwork. So we've already done the survey. That's excluding them creating a survey for us. It is allowing them to help us analyze that. And so it's giving us that third-party, non-biased look at the data we're pulling. So it's not just all of us, as we've said a million times over, but it's not just us reviewing that information and taking what we want from it. That would also include, I had her break out the visioning session, because that was also one of the things that we were kind of going back and forth on, having them run the visioning meeting for us with the entire town, and then us hosting it ourselves. And I'm not that comfortable hosting it. Also, we wouldn't really be, who's our moderator? I'm not him. Like, that guy's awesome. Is it Epstein?
Oh, George, yeah.
Yeah, George. So, like, entertaining for 4 hours the entire, whoever comes, like, I don't know. It's just not me, but I think that they do this often and they're really good at it. So I had her keep it in and then also break it out. So basically it would be minus $3,000 if we wanted to host that ourselves. It's an intense meeting. There's a lot of questions. They would review our survey data, come up with questions, and host a visioning session. From that, they would take the responses from our residents and stakeholders and help us create that vision statement. So that's still an option, yes or no on that. What else did we take out? Hang on one sec. So analyzing our survey data, they could also just analyze the 15 stakeholder interviews. So that cut that in half. We cut out mapping, which we felt like we had the resources as a town to do most of the mapping. And that was another like $10,000 plus. So we would be in charge of that. They would take our data and our responses and feedback from the interviews, from the visioning prompts, analyze it, and then give it back to us and summarize that. So I feel like that would be good. And that cut that in half. So that's good.
And
I feel like if we cut out much more, we are just doing it ourselves. This also includes revisions of the vision statement for the town. It includes them checking all of our data points, current data points, and then if we have extra data points for each section, they will pull that information and put it in a nice summary similar to this. She also, they did one for the town of Carroll. So if you want to look that up, go online, you can look at the town of Carroll. And they just take all of the census data, whatever data is pertinent to each section, and put it in a nice visual for us. That also includes a version and then a revision of each section and the master plan as a complete document. So they're doing a lot of work. It's just whether or not we feel comfortable going back to the select board, asking for a warrant on the second phase. Because the first phase really would end at land use. So the first phase is visioning and land use.
which is the 36 here?
Is 23.
So the first phase is 23.
If we broke it out into two phases, which we would need to do because we have $25,000. So we would need to go to page 12, task 5, the land use element. And that's when they're breaking out the secondary phase.
Right. So task 5 is in phase 2.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, well, it has to be, because if you add that 2,500, you'd be at 25.5.
Okay, yep. Which they really want to work with us. I feel like going back and forth, it's been a good conversation and just like digging down more deeply into what they can offer and, you know, the legwork that we're doing. It's been pretty informative. And just they'll work with our budgeting,
Yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, it's what the selectmen and ultimately the town wants to vote to do a master plan
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, so we tried, we couldn't get it down to the 25 altogether, which, it's kind of unrealistic to think that we can get an entire master plan for that when we know what the price of a master plan is.
Right.
So there is that. But I feel like we've done a pretty good job, and the amount of work that we're taking on as a committee is quite a bit to cut that cost down. So we would be doing, you know, we have the survey complete, we would be doing the interviews. We've already reached out to all of our boards and departments and groups for the visioning prompts. So we're collecting that data. They come in and they analyze it, and then they summarize it. They potentially host the visioning session. They hold meetings with us throughout the process and keep us on track.
So when we talked last week, we all had talked about
a number closer to the $27,000 to $30,000 range with some
Yeah.
questions regarding one public forum. This just feels a lot pricier than what we chose, even with one public forum added. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where the change is there, where that large difference lies.
So the kickoff meeting has to stay. And that's $2,427.
Which they've dropped to $650, right?
Yes, so that would be virtual.
All right, so we didn't have that in there, and they're saying without that, they won't do it.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm putting an X next to that one.
okay, yeah. Which, it makes sense because they're coming in, letting everybody know what's going on and just starting the process. It's kind of a bridge between what we've done so far and where they're gonna take it.
Does make sense.
And then that also doesn't include if we wanted to do any advertising or mailers or anything like that. I know we don't have a town Facebook, so we can't post anything. Still gonna work on that. But I got a quote from Staples and it's like $700 to do a complete mail out if we wanted to ask people to take the survey, come to the visioning session, provide a more in-depth interview if they're interested as a stakeholder to do so. That would be on us.
And so the community forum event itself is $3,600, but then their output from the forum is an additional $4,225. Am I understanding that correctly?
Let's see.
Page, what page that is, 10 to 11 it looks like. So they have 11,000 for that whole section, but I'm sort of looking at the breakout to understand
Yeah,
why it
so
would be $11,000 for a community forum.
so that's including, that's the entire task, right?
Yep.
Oh wait, where
So
am I?
it's 3,600 for the forum, then 4,225 for data analysis,
Yes,
and 3,275 for,
the stakeholder meetings.
But the stakeholder meetings will provide data, so I guess I'm wondering if the 4,225 is data analysis for all of our various outreaches, or just for the
Just,
community forum?
just for the forum.
Interesting.
But that was, what was that, half of what they were?
Well,
Yeah, so it's 3,600 to host the meeting.
yeah, cause I've got data and map review from the prior document.
Yep,
Data and map review together were $95.54. We pulled the map review out of that, so that would leave data. Maybe it's not half, maybe it's 2/3, I don't really know what the split is.
yeah,
But this feels like an additional charge. I kinda wish they would just say, the forum's gonna be $8,000 and that includes the data from the forum. Because that data should go and be bulked with all the other data in the line item that covers data.
oh, I see what you
Does that
mean.
make sense? Like, I don't know if I'm articulating that well, but I just feel like it's being double whammied, and maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm wrong, I was wrong. That is including the summary of the feedback received at the forum. And then the data analysis of the survey is the 4,200.
So this is,
Is this
I
from
see.
today's email that went out?
Yeah,
I didn't get that. So what we need to do is create a scorecard on all these, this, and here's the number, for us to look at it.
like we did with the
Bouncing-
last one.
Yeah, bouncing back and forth too much.
Yeah, it's,
It's not, you have nothing to follow.
You want me to throw this in an Excel spreadsheet when I go home?
Sure.
Yes,
Yes, we really
please.
like it, yes, thank you. And she took out the things that we didn't X. So all of this is very similar to what we were working on. It's just that we were kind of estimating
Right.
what it would be if we only did the data analysis, but she's giving us actual pricing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I mean, we can take until the next meeting, or we can have another, mid-month meeting and after we've had enough time to review it, and then see if we still wanna carry forward.
I guess I'm a little concerned with what I feel as perhaps a little mission creep. Because if our goal is to update the master plan, last month we talked about digitalizing it so we could get it online and add to it, but, you know, I'm not sure the selectmen or the town's willing to spend that extra $50,000 to do, you know, the community forum and all of that stuff. And I don't know if the board or the town really thinks it's necessary, but I don't know. I'm a planner, but I'm not that kind of a planner, so.
Okay.
So, I mean, those are my prejudices and I'll own them, but,
I hear you. I think that when there's a dollar sign attached to anything, everybody becomes kind of like just more cautious of spending the money, especially if it's taxpayer funded.
yeah.
I think that when we initially went to the select board, we were just pulling a number. We
Yep.
asked
Yep.
for more. But now we have actual numbers.
Yep.
And 2 revised documents to show them this is what it costs to
Yep.
do this. Our town needs an updated master plan. We need to listen to people, we need to have this happen. It's just how much work will this committee do
Right.
to get it done, and then how do we think that we can use NCC as a resource? We also have a CIP that we have 3 people on. That's the town budget, so that includes the town budget.
Is it, no, the capital improvement doesn't include the budget.
No,
No,
it
you're
does
just
not.
Well, the
looking at
first-
big stuff to buy. That's what the. all the
Capital
purchase-
But the-
improvement plan has nothing to do with the town budget.
Nothing.
It's usually the first year of a capital improvement plan is your budget.
Nope.
Those are the first year is the things that you're budgeting for that initial year.
For the capital, but.
Yes.
Capital projects, but that's not
For
the
that
town
year's
budget.
expenditures, that's what you're
Yeah.
referring to.
Yeah, got your
Gotcha.
big, your police cars, your fire trucks, your
Right.
town trucks. When I wasn't involved at this beginning, when you asked for this money, I think it must have been last year, was the money you guys asked for just to try to get this up and digitalized? Not
No.
this?
No, it was to get the master plan updated. There was a gigantic figure, over $100,000 that was
A quote.
See, I missed all that, so.
talked about.
Okay,
And
so they ended up.
they
with
wanted
25.
more and ended up with 25.
Okay.
So if
Was
you-
that including getting it digitalized, or was that just updating it?
Oh,
This will be digital.
Correct.
The end.
But I mean, I'm just, what did you tell the people this was, the 25,000 was gonna do?
It was,
we're gonna.
didn't really know,
Didn't
was,
know.
is to
Okay.
work.
Extremely vague.
It
I
was
mean,
a,
if you hired North Country Council or a
Yeah.
professional planner, you're gonna spend 80 or 100,000 bucks
Yeah.
to update your master plan.
Yeah.
Nobody seemed to go for that, but statutorily,
We
we're
have to have it,
required to update our master plan. My question at this point is, maybe it's not update, maybe it's modernize our existing master plan and then doing, you know, and I don't know how much visioning we really need, you know, how much
Well, have
money.
you looked at the old one? Anybody looked at the old one we got upstairs?
Yes,
I looked at
everyone
it
has read it on this
Okay.
committee,
Yes.
thank
Yeah.
goodness, yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then there's a colored book upstairs too, in
Yeah.
the selectmen's room that you can look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We looked at it last night after the meeting, and really the only thing we've done out of that is the second ball field.
Right.
That's pretty much what we got out of it.
No, the library has put on the
Well,
children's room.
Yes.
And the school,
But so I'm saying is, I agree with you 100%. I think this town is more geared towards, let's get it digitalized, take the old one, maybe update it a little bit, get it up to this. I don't know if it's ready for all what you're trying to do.
this is,
Personally.
I mean,
okay,
I mean, what you've done as visioning stuff is really good. I don't know how much more of that we need, whether a community forum, and I tell you the truth, I have never been to a Madison master plan update. I didn't go to the one 20 years ago or the one before that, so
I don't know if there was a visioning session, I don't know.
Oh, there was a charrette,
There was a charrette for the community center?
yes.
Okay. But this is a little bit different. This is asking the entire public to come to a meeting
Yeah.
and giving them the opportunity to talk to their leadership and tell everyone what they want.
Yeah.
And what they want their funds and projects to be for the next 10 years. The vision is the centerpiece of the entire master plan.
Yep.
So they come, they say, this is where we want our community to be in 10 years, 20 years. These are the projects that we would like our leadership to focus on and spend our tax dollars on and get creative with other sources of funding to make this happen. It's our fault if we don't get it done. And if it falls flat, it's on the leadership for not listening and following through with the plan that the people said they wanted done. That's how important it is.
So,
For me,
So, we
is
gotta
there any
listen.
reason we couldn't put forth a warrant article with this documentation? Or go to selectmen, I'm not sure what the process is, for, we're talking about a difference of 11,000 and change, yeah, $12,000.
Yeah.
So couldn't we go ask, maybe talk to the selectmen first, see what they say? If they say, no, we don't wanna do a warrant article for that, can't we write our own warrant article and get 25 signatures and at least put it in front of the voters?
Yes.
The worst they can do is say no. We're still in the same position we're in right now. So
Sure.
what?
Yeah.
But at least then we know, well, we're gonna have to dig in and do the maps, or dig in and do our own forum, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Until you ask, the answer is no.
Right. And we can give that
Right,
no,
but
or we can try.
We need to be mentally prepared for the answer to be no.
Again, if you
That's
don't ask,
fine.
it is no.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand completely, but going through the most recent budget cycles,
Mhm.
we're cutting things from the operating budget that need to happen. Road projects with finalized plans, actual numbers, whittling that down, which you can't do an actual number. You have to eliminate a road, which we've
Correct.
done the last 2 years.
Right.
All I'm saying is, the willingness to spend money on that which is necessary isn't even there. It's more difficult to get funding for things that some people may argue aren't
Not
necessary.
I agree.
So all I'm saying is, and Tia is incredibly invested in this project.
Yeah.
And it's
We all are,
100%.
yeah.
100%, yeah, but you more so than anybody, because you're doing the grunt, the
hard work.
rubber
You're
on the
carrying
road
us.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And
I
it-
think you're all
and it
doing an
takes-
awesome job.
When you get that invested, you take things personally and you react emotionally.
Okay, yeah, I
The-
know.
You have to take the emotion out of it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, heaven only knows, I mean, the town meeting could throw you a curveball, approve all this money and say, well, here's an additional, you know, just hire and do the whole thing for 100. They might do that, who knows?
I have seen
Well,
weirder
that's
things
fine,
happen.
but it's not an emotional reaction, it's just that I believe that the town deserves a master plan that is representative of their vision. We give them the opportunity through this process to tell us what they want and
Right.
what they want us to prioritize.
But at the same time, we have to respect that vision that we have on paper. Because a lot of work went into that 20 years ago.
This vision,
Yeah,
except that 20 years ago's vision isn't necessarily still the vision of the people in this town.
Right,
and
but we
we
have
haven't
to,
followed
answer to
it.
that.
we don't, but we have to give it its due respect. It was the vision at the time.
Yeah, but there's a reason you're supposed to update it every 10 years, and we really
And
haven't done that.
annually. Like, it should be reviewed by the planning board annually to make sure that we're following it. The reason why we have the master plan, the implementation plan, and the CIP, it's more than a piece of paper, it's more than a document, it's a management system for the town. So that's why multiple people need to be in the room, leading it, multiple people are responsible for it.
And once again, at the same time, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but I've been around this block a few times. You can have the best laid plan. Mark, this is why he is so jaded about some of this stuff, is because he's been around, no, and
It's CIP.
with
Like,
all due
I know.
respect to the
gonna
time that
try
he's
again.
invested on the planning board, all of your involvement, you've seen it happen, and I know, I've been there with you
Yep.
for a quarter of the time that you've been there. And when you put all of this, invest all of this time to create a CIP, the master plan, that's its own animal, 100% needs to be updated, get it. But you put that in place, you put a CIP in place, and then it's just flat not followed. There was one example I'll use. There was a year, selectmen said no. 2 vehicles went on by petition or something and were purchased over the objection of the Board of Selectmen, and they weren't on the CIP, but town meeting bought them anyway. So
Okay.
the time that you invest in these steps and these processes, yes, it's to be followed. But there's not in this state is a statutory requirement to follow them.
Right, it's advisory,
It's one of those you may
Right.
yeah,
versus you shall.
yeah, but it's not a waste of time. And I don't think it's a waste to invest in getting it right the first time. Like, we have these 3 major projects to complete, and if they all don't jive and the master plan comes first, then you base your CIP off of the master plan. Within the master plan, you have an implementation plan, right? I think I have said this every meeting. But if you don't have the 3 working cohesively and all town departments and boards working together to fulfill that vision, it's not gonna happen. And if we dismiss ourselves before we get going, and throw our hands up and say, oh, it didn't work before, then it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work now. I think we're just doing a disservice and we're not really here for the right reason. So I'm going to have some faith and, I don't know, give it a shot.
Okay,
It's okay, because we've had these same concerns come up in almost every meeting since we've put a dollar amount to it.
right.
Which is fine, we need to hear the concerns, but we also have to have a more uplifting message than, let's waste $25,000 and burn this, you know?
And I really think that the number we asked at 2025 town meeting was, you know, you need a master plan, it says we shall do this. You want these regulations and this stuff, you need to spend, the town needs to spend $80,000 or $100,000 on a master plan, and can't throw it at a committee and expect the committee to do it, because we don't have the time or the expertise. But that's what, they didn't do that, and so now what do? I mean, and I don't mind going back to the town and saying, hey, these are the roadblocks we have, these are the choices you can make. You know, you go to town meeting and some years there's 100 people or 120 people that vote on the whole budget. I've never been to a school meeting.
Oh my God, I have, and they can be nasty. I go to a
Heather
town
does
meeting
great.
or anything any day.
But, and I think the schools are great, my kids went there and they thrived,
Yeah,
but,
it's the cornerstone of our entire town,
Yeah.
I would say.
so, but, you know, and so I guess that we as a committee should decide exactly which direction we wanna take.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm not comfortable with committing to spending the money we don't have. So,
Okay, so I would propose that we take some time, review this. Evelyn, if you will make us another spreadsheet
I can
that you're
whip that up.
amazing at. We can, again, mark that, noting that a few of these things are mandatory as a part of the proposal, we can't come out. And then we can vote to either send it forth to the planning board to make that decision, because we don't make the decisions, the
Right.
planning board does.
Right.
And it's actually,
To go to the selectmen, you mean?
yeah,
Gotcha,
yep.
for $16,500.
For-
Whatever that number comes, I can't remember what the number is.
Yeah.
11 or 12,000, whatever that number is.
but we're committing to spending $50,000
Well,
with
we would
NCC.
break it into phasing. It's not 50, it's,
It's 36.
yeah.
36.5.
36 to be all done.
Yep.
yes. And originally, what was it, 36 in the first phase? So we've cut it down, by almost $13,000. And we could do more if we take off the visioning, meeting. So we could just have a, public meeting like we do every time
But we
and,
still need that data, so
Right.
it's not gonna save as much as we think.
If
Yeah.
we're going after the funds, I'm sure the selectmen are gonna ask the question, if we give you this money, is this gonna give us a new master plan?
yes,
Can we answer that question
it
at this
will.
point?
Yeah, based on
Yes.
this proposal, this is,
Absolutely.
We have two
this is the
complete
whittled down
proposals.
soup to nuts to get the whole
And
thing
I'm sure that's gonna
updated.
be a question they're gonna ask.
Yep.
And we have to be darn sure that what we give them for another shot is gonna do that. And if it's not, and you're gonna have to come back for more money at another point in time, they're gonna lose faith in you.
Yeah, I
Committee.
include this proposal with the
Yeah.
ask.
We can include everything we've worked on so far. So, I mean, we've been at this for over 6 months, so we have a lot of information, we have data, we have proposals. And then we could ask them for the membership, which would also reduce the pricing. So, and then that would grant the town a municipal membership to NCC.
Then that raises another question with them. Membership is $4,500 per year.
$4,242.
What's gonna happen the year after that, the year after that? Are they gonna
Same.
be, you have to tell them that this is what they're gonna be looking for. Can you fit that in your budget to do that?
And we would need to put that as a planning board or a town expense
That's
to
what I'm
have,
saying.
but
You
many,
present it to the selectmen, they're gonna look at it and say, it's almost like a number on the capital improvement budget.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying a truck, you're gonna put this money every year towards this.
Exactly.
yeah,
And are they gonna be willing to do that?
yeah, and that is something that we could put on the planning board, or we could ask the selectmen to put it on theirs. But that's exactly what I know it's not technically a CIP item, but it would be something that we could put into a planning board specific type project, because a lot of what we do, I mean, besides going to webinars and conferences and stuff like that to learn about planning, it would be to actually do the planning. And then membership with NCC, they can help us write grants, town-wide. They can do safety counts, traffic counts, things like that. They can work with each department. Some things are for fee, like a master plan. Some things are included.
And so this 36 will digitalize our existing plan as well?
No, that will be,
There
Done.
will be us here.
this will give us a new format for the master plan that we come up with. Taking in reference the old master plan.
And so the old master plan will be in there?
No. It will be like a rewrite of the master plan with all new
But
data.
this includes the rewrite.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that your question? Does this include the rewrite in a digital format?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
This is gonna be the new and improved master plan.
Yes.
I mean, it has to be digital to start with anyway. Can't hit print and send it to the printers without it, so it's
It's not
gotta be
handwritten.
digital, yeah.
Right, but that's one way of the digital meaning. What he's getting at is, we were talking about digitally interactive.
Yes, so you would be able to
For the
link it in a
person viewing it on the
yeah.
website, you'd be able to click on that number in the glossary and it take you to that section of the
Well, I
plan.
hope they can do that, cause
No,
I
they-
do that right now.
Well, no,
at
no,
work.
no, but that's what,
Yeah.
I think that's what Mark was talking about digitally. I think we all know
Yeah,
it's gonna be, creating a document is de facto digital these days.
right,
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can even buy a typewriter anymore.
right. And I did convert this to Word. It doesn't pull up the pictures and maps and all that real pretty, but we can get into it and mess with it in a Word format.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, so if we decided that we would not like to continue on with a second phase, and we're voted down at town meeting, if we present it, then we would be spending $23,050 for the first phase. And that would be it. It would get us through to our visioning.
I think if we're gonna do it, we should plan to do it. You know, if we're gonna go that road, I think we should go the whole way down that road. So,
To ask for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes the most sense to me, but I'm definitely open to hearing what you have to say. We've discussed it at length and we can discuss it more. We don't have to do anything that
so,
everybody's not comfortable on and we're not voting and in agreement to put it to the planning board.
so,
So,
um,
do that.
yeah, I don't wanna, I don't wanna buy half a truck, you know?
Yeah, me
So-
either, to be honest. I feel like we've done so much work so far. And we've also done a lot of work on, and our due diligence in trying to figure out how we can work with a consultant
Right.
to then not work with a consultant or go that route. It would definitely take us back a little bit. That's a little disappointing, but we can decide to not do that. And then we take on every section ourselves and we're going to be writing it and putting it out there for everybody. So those are kind of our
I'm sure
options.
this is what happened when they created this original master plan. It was the committee that did it. I don't think they had any consultants, Mark, back then.
No, it did not.
No.
We didn't.
So, I mean, that's what the committee was probably charged to do at that time, is to come up with it, and we're trying to pick away at that and do that here with some help, outside help. But I think that's for sure, still the vision of the selectmen, is that, you know, here's some money to help you start it and get going, but to come up with a plan, so that's the way I see it.
I feel more comfortable asking the town for money when we have an actual, like, done out plan, and we've already done so much work to get
Yes.
ourselves to this point, than to ask based off of a quote, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
we actually have numbers now, we've done our due diligence, we've looked it over, and
Yep.
I feel better now to do that.
And I think North Country Council's probably a more affordable option than a planning consulting person.
Yes.
So do we need a motion for that?
No.
No?
So,
We can just look at this and then would we like to, when do we have to ask for NCC membership if we wanted that to be a separate warrant article?
that would be with our budgeting, which will be in December?
Last time for warrant articles, gonna be sometime in February.
That's the last.
The last possible date is sometime in February.
Okay,
But we could ask the selectmen just to.
No,
put
no,
their
absolutely,
budget.
and I'm sure they would.
So, or they might, I don't know, we get pushback on that. So,
what do you think, Jim?
Well, the hard part is, at some point, you gotta throw some,
yeah, what am I getting for my $4,200?
well, there's that, which I think it would behoove us to have. You mentioned a couple of things, obviously, a big thing like a master plan is an item you have to pay extra for, but if they could summarize, like, garden variety stuff that would be covered by that. Because
Yeah.
historically, we were members for years and years and years, and then nobody could, and I don't mean this negatively,
Right,
just
right.
by a matter of fact, nobody could articulate what benefit the town of Madison was getting for paying for that membership every year.
Yeah.
And we weren't the only town that felt that way.
Well, right, but,
Yeah,
and it was when
Big exodus.
Yeah.
push came to shove, and then that just got cut from the operating budget, and,
Yeah, cut that, nobody, you don't even hear a sound.
right,
Okay,
well, right, it's not a lot of money, but it was one of those things where, well, tell me what we get for this, and nobody could articulate it, and,
Like the watershed project, she mentioned something about maybe being able to help with that. Would membership bring any benefits to that group in Madison who's working on
Possibly.
that, right?
So,
She made mention of that when she
right,
was
but
here.
that one,
Yeah.
we got the whole 100,000 going against that one.
Oh,
They've already hired a company for that.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
So that one's
and that's a
taken care of.
grant, right? They
Yeah,
got
it's a
grant.
revolve, it's from the
Yes.
groundwater or something revolving fund.
It may be that
So-
the membership, I don't think the membership is the most meaningful thing, only, this is me being jaded, because of our history with North Country Council. I don't think they're a bad organization, but they did have some folks 20 years ago or so that were doing some wonky things, and towns got very uncomfortable with them. They've certainly spent a long time.
All I'm
Bringing
suggesting is
themselves
any dollars that we think we're gonna ask the
Yeah.
town meeting for, the most information that you can have is
Yeah.
with respect to what benefit are you gonna get if you spend that amount of money.
And
It's gonna help you in convincing the vote to go one way or the other.
and we're a long way from the North Country Council too.
Yeah,
I mean, physically.
Right, and the same thing goes for the Lakes region.
I know.
We are stuck in the middle without allies.
Probably have more Lake Region,
I agree.
They have 3 meetings a year and we could have representation there. They also have a membership packet. I have it, I think I sent it to you like a long time ago, but I can send it out so we can get a better idea.
Yeah.
I think they do a lot of grant writing and they can connect us with different grants
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, we would have to use the membership
Yeah.
for it to be worthwhile.
right,
Also, it's about even if we pay for the membership or
Right.
not. So non-membership
Right.
pricing is that much more. So for this piece, I would say for the next year that we just go for it, knowing that it would be probably a 2-year, we would need
Yep.
that for 2 years.
So as a master plan committee, what are we comfortable with? Do we
I think
think?
we're gonna take another, till the next meeting to decide on this, though, right? You're gonna break this down into a sheet we can look at it better,
Yep.
so
Okay,
next meeting
that
we should have an
okay?
answer, not this one.
Yeah.
okay,
That was a lot, cause I didn't even see that email till I walked in here.
I know.
Busy at work, so
I
You
know.
can't do this in half an hour, so.
No.
No.
Do we wanna have another meeting like the workshop that we had?
How many
mid-
showed up for that?
7,
As many as you get now?
yeah.
Where's the meeting?
6 of us.
Six
Six
of
of
you?
us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can try and do that again, or we can just hold it at the next one and be okay with it taking a little bit longer to have this complete or get shut down, either way.
So you're thinking we might whittle away at these and not ask for $11,565?
I really think that the only, thing that we could cut, because everything else she quoted, would be having the visioning meeting. Everything else is the way that we asked for it from the last meeting.
So why wouldn't we just agree to ask for $11,565? We can still put this in a format that's a little easier for all of us to navigate.
Can-
I
But
think,
if we're gonna go for it,
yeah,
we ask the question and let somebody tell us no, but we've got a backup plan
Can-
for the no.
Can I just ask for a clarification?
Yeah.
'Cause some of these terms that I misunderstand, I guess. The only thing in here that you think is absolutely not necessary, you said was the visioning. Is that the $11,100 visioning?
No, that is not 11,000. It would be 3,600, I believe. Let me just double check.
at 36 and 42.
Yeah, so that's for
Oh, the community forum part of it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, no, because when you said the visioning and I looked at that line and that was 11,000, I think we might not need anything else.
Exactly, yeah, I got
Yes.
confused by that.
Yeah, sorry, the 3,600, that is them hosting.
Mark
Right.
dropped the
actual
$500 on the way in, we just gotta pick that up and put it
There you
in,
go.
put it in the bucket, it's all in quarters.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you know, you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst. In hoping for the best, we asked for $11,565, which now balances the budget. And, you know, planning for the worst is what we did at our planning session a couple of weeks ago, where we say, all we have is $25,000, pick your poison. And we pick our poison together, and we live with that.
Great.
Yeah, and that would get us through the first phase, minus land use.
Well, that may get us through the end, because if we only have $25,000 and we pick our poison, it means the people in this room are going to be doing that other work. Still has to get done.
Right,
It may not be as professional, it may not be as in-depth as it might be if, you know, somebody else did it,
yeah,
but we could still do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But as we get closer to the end of the year, we're gonna push this off another month, not that that's not in a bad way, we need time to digest it, but we haven't spent any of that $25,000, or have we?
Correct, no, we haven't.
So that, I mean, that needs to be clearly stated, yeah, we've had the money for a year, we haven't touched it, we're working on a plan to start touching it,
Exactly.
but, so, nothing's been wasted, so it's a legitimate argument, we have this figure, an additional 11,565 is gonna satisfy every item on this menu.
And based on the work that we've done, we've learned what we're missing in the
Right.
room to tie this all together.
Right.
Right, but it's not as if we've spent 25 grand and we need another 11. Well, what do we got for that? Well, no, we haven't spent any
Yeah,
yet.
that would be a horrible position. That would not be good.
But I think if we do that, I think we should go with a plan that will give us a complete plan.
Right, no,
Exactly.
absolutely.
We don't want to get halfway through with the North Country Council and then have to finish it. I think if we're gonna do the North Country Council, which, you know, which is probably the best route, but at least now we know we have a hard number to attach to it, so.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a
Sorry.
question? So
Yeah.
you get all of that plan and it's all just what you want, and then you have to do it again in 10 years. is that cycle all over again what you're doing now, or is it, hey, now we can just go back through and update pieces that we need to? So will you be asking the town for another
Technically
$6,000?
speaking, you should be updating it every year, and in defense of a couple of the committees that I sit on, their sections of the master plan have been updated every year. It's just never been assembled into a,
I'm just wondering about the expense, right? So you're asking for a big expense now, will you ask for that again in 10 years, or no, you're gonna get it up to
maybe
where it is?
yes, maybe no, it all depends on
Our expertise in the room.
how happy you are with the product you end up with on this drive, and if you do stay with it every year, it may be some money to update it in 10 years, but it may,
But not as heavy of a lift as
we
it
may
is
all
right
be,
now.
Yeah.
we may all be floating at that point, and we won't have any roads anymore, cause we'll have jets and mobiles and stuff.
Right.
So just one more question, because we,
Yeah.
we,
I know,
we're at 36,565 for complete paint plan.
Yeah.
But then we have to add another $4,200 for the joint. So you're actually at 40,000, no?
I don't
Because
think
that
this
doesn't see, I don't see
includes,
anything
have
about
to
the
join.
membership.
Right.
We don't have to join.
Well, then it's gonna
This
go
year.
back to
but it's still
42
gonna be
because
42,
they gave
yeah.
us a $4,000 member discount. So it's gonna be 42 no matter how we're looking, or 40, no matter what we're looking at.
Oh, I thought you said they were giving us that no matter what.
They're
Well,
giving
no.
They give us the pricing
member
for this
pricing.
year
Gotcha.
if we paid for membership next
For
year.
next
My
year.
We could have the,
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we're not, you're not asking for enough at that.
no, we can have the
Actually,
hamburger today, but we gotta pay them for it tomorrow.
So
Right.
you're not, you gotta ask for 15,000
I agree.
instead of 11.
Yep,
Right,
yeah, you're spot on.
Okay,
And
I'm
to
done.
your point,
I'm done, I'm right, I'm done.
you're spot on.
I'm quiet, I'm not saying another word.
no.
Taya was saying she would like to see us ask for money that is set aside each year for the purpose of this exercise, whether the money needs to be spent on an annual review or the 10-year review.
And that would
Honestly,
be
asking for that money and whether or not the town chooses to put $3,000 a year aside for this is a very good indicator when we go into the next round of what the appetite is for the townspeople to have this updated.
Yeah.
Not another CIP. Not another capital improvement. You know, not another $3,000 in the bank to. The trouble with whether you're buying a truck or what you're buying is once you've saved all that money, it's so easy to spend it. Versus if you had to buy the whole
You
thing
can't.
right up front, you're gonna say, ooh. But
And
So-
that depends on the implementation plan, so it would be that
Right.
we would have to say, okay, so planning board, this is in your purview. We check it annually, we put it on our agenda to check the master plan.
Yep.
Touch base with everybody, see if they have updates. Whether we do that annually, I would say 6 months and then a year, and then at year 8, we should
The-
be doing a full evaluation and starting it before year 10, asking for funds, going out, asking for a consultant then, and then figuring it out by year 10 to get going again.
But the whole
So-
thing, in my opinion and experience, when you get to that point, you have to pick real dates on the calendar and you have to stick with them. Because the time to the time to create the tool is not the time that you're building the budget. That's not the time to even talk about it. When we're sitting at the table reviewing or developing an operating budget for the fiscal year for the town, you're not at that table reviewing a CIP. You're looking at the CIP you have to make sure the projects in front of you either are on it or not, and why aren't they, or whatever. Creating the tools that are to be used in the process. So I guess what I'm getting at is when the planning board reviews, like, it needs to be done at a point in the actual calendar when it makes sense for the town meeting to then take action.
Yeah.
Another part of the CIP that's always pissed me off is that we're sitting talking about developing a budget. Sorry, I apologize, but I get excited. you can't, we're in the budget season right now, October, we're starting.
Yeah.
There's no more talk about a CIP that we don't have. We don't have it right now. We don't talk about it again until after town meeting. Because you don't have it to use now, building this budget, we don't talk about it in the budget process. The committee to establish it, that's a different thing, you talk about all you want. But not at the table building the operating budget. The last 3 years, that's bothered the crap out of me.
If we had
It's
a
not
hammer,
helpful.
Right, it's the wrong time to talk about it.
if we had a hammer, we could build a house, but
Right.
we don't.
If there are 2 more volunteers out there who want to join the CIP committee, our first meeting is on the 9:30 here.
Well, it would be terrific to have somebody that was perhaps in the business community.
Yeah, 2
I mean,
volunteers.
we end up with the same handful of people that volunteer for everything, and I am on so many different levels of it makes no sense for me to be on that committee. I mean, not that it doesn't make sense, but I've got many more things to do, and I'm gonna get crucified by that committee as a department head, so I don't need to be sitting there and,
Yeah,
It'd be
that's
like
not
a
really
bloodletting
fair to
for
you,
me.
actually, that's
I won't
unfair.
crucify you.
but if there was,
I'm interested in it, but I couldn't do it until I quit the 2 boards I'm trying to quit right now.
right, but we have
Yeah.
some other folks that could give up a little bit of their time that are business minded. If you're
Joy,
out there in TV land and you just had a few hours, cause it's only gonna be,
Joy already has a running CIP, so,
right, but we had one before she came on.
yeah,
We had it for years and we tried to update it ourselves, and
yeah.
Yeah.
it just becomes, it's one of those tools that was never strictly followed. You did your best to plan for it.
Just to get us back to this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you gotta come up with a better money figure, cause you gotta add the,
I'm gonna add that
Okay,
back, I'm gonna
and then-
show it with
So-
and without, at the
Before we
end
do
of the
anything
day.
else, so
It's-
that's-
You're right, it's
okay.
the same number, it
Alright.
has to be that
It has to be.
$15,000-$16,000 number,
it's gonna be
this is inaccurate.
$40,285.
But we
or
broke it
something.
out because it has to be a separate warrant article, so you can look at it like that, yes, that's fine. We took it out because it would be a municipal, the entire town would be joining it. So it wouldn't
Right.
just be the planning board or the master plan for this, so to be like clear, it's
well, what
something
you're
else.
getting at is.
We're getting the discount because
With a
we
new
were
thing
buying.
like this, but, I mean, $4,000. $10 in the planning board's budget creates a spike because the budget's so small.
Right.
But you put $4,000 in the planning board budget, it went up 482%. And, you know, it's,
What are you doing?
it's a moderate increase to a very small budget. So,
Yeah.
which is the reason you take something like that and you always did it as a warrant article, so it doesn't create a spike in your operating budget.
I see.
But we can do it
But you
however
can
you
do
guys,
it, however, we need to come to a decision whenever the next meeting of this subcommittee is, to get to the planning board for discussion and adoption or proposal. Planning board conveys to the board of selectmen, and between the 2 of them,
Yeah.
chairman of the planning board and the select board
yeah.
will come up with a final
So to be clear, it's
proposal of how to do it.
$36,565 plus a 1-year membership for $42,400, I mean, 42, yes, thanks.
42.22.
And total, if we put that together, it's $40,807.
And would they
So,
guarantee our pricing into year 2, phase 2, because this'll take us more than 1 year to do? If we didn't join the second year, are they gonna dog us on these costs, or once we sign this contract, we're good to go?
One way or the other, they're
I'm
getting
not
that
sure.
$4,000.
Exactly.
They're getting.
Well, my thought is if we gave them the $4,000 for the first year, you're paying for it one way or the other, why wouldn't you take the membership? It's like a little bonus if there's
Yeah.
something we can get out of them. But this will roll over into a second year, and what I don't want to do is
You're talking
lose-
about, can we get the $4,000 for a calendar year from the date of payment?
I'm just not sure how.
I think
like,
it is a calendar year.
Does the 1,400 go up if we don't use that in the first calendar year? If we don't do the whole thing in 1 year?
I don't think they're planning on it being 1 year, but I think that it's an annual municipal membership, so I think it would be 4,200 each year.
But we don't have to pay that every year, we can choose not to be a member again, just like we did 20 years ago. Not suggesting that's the
Yeah.
most ethical thing in the world, but the reality is, we've gotta have the conversation
Yeah, I can ask her.
about what happens in year 2 if we don't join. How does that change
I
the
don't-
final engagement
I
portion?
don't think they care one way or another. I think they want that $4,200,
And
but
that's it.
there's no animosity.
Okay,
It's not, they'll get mad at you. It's like, oh, that's, I mean, they know this is the way it's played.
Yeah, she's been very
okay.
good to work with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll ask her though, for sure, just for
We
clarity.
should know, yeah.
Yeah,
Cause I would think the selectmen are gonna ask that question. What about year 2? Are we
Yeah.
forced to
Well,
join in order to
maybe,
keep this pricing or not?
you mentioned the town of Carroll, which really isn't comparable to us by any stretch, but certainly there's others that we could reach out to and, you know,
How'd year 2 go?
how was your experience going through this process? And do you feel it was, you know,
Or there are towns with a professional planner or a part-time planner that might use North Country Council, but we don't have the staff here,
Right.
so.
Right, but I mean, all I'm saying is, it goes both ways.
Yeah,
How are they gonna, the only way to know how they're gonna treat us is if we ask one of the other towns, how did they treat
Exactly.
you? And we'd assume we're gonna get,
so we've had a
So-
great discussion on this,
Yes.
definitely maps next time, if we have time, because I feel like this
Yep.
will take priority again.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time, thank you. For our next meeting, we want to be ready to decide on putting this before the planning board or not.
I would think yes.
yeah,
Okay, so we can take that vote next time,
yeah.
okay.
and this was very cool. The map
Maps.
outline, I was like, wow,
There we go.
very cool.
And then we can add, if you have an opportunity to look at the map chart, you can add and be ready to comment on that if you'd like to. All right, are we good?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think that would, good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Jim.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, that was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you.
getting there.
put up the rest of the caution tape.